On today's show, we catch up on past guests.
Got no control over my children. That's where he put a hammer into the wall.
How much is enough? Is it police coming to the house enough?
No.
Or is it your kids having to do time? When is enough?
Not enough is enough now.
You're going to end up with the boys in prison, or even worse, not just prison, but getting hurt themselves, seriously hurt. You're pushing everyone away that's trying to help.
Something's got to give. Just can't carry on.
There's got to be a point when something clicks up here and you go, I need to get to making change, because change happens in a second.
I want some money. I want money and love.
What has you so angry?
She doesn't show no loving or nothing now. What do I do for you? Every day in that house. But when you're shouting and screaming and swearing at us, do you really think I'm going to take you anywhere?
The behaviour that spirals out of control, that cannot continue. Where does your temper tantrum come from? I mean,
I don't know.
What right do you think that you have?
No, I'm putting in here. He complained.
No, you're not. Actually, you're not putting in. That's not what you're going to do. We're actually going to act like mature people here. Hi, and a warm welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be updating you on the families I met on the show and finding out how they've got on since they've returned home. My first guest, Tony Marie, contacted the show to get help and support for her stepmum, Nancy, who has been struggling with her two teenage sons, Reggie and Frankie. She said ever since their dad, John, passed away 4 years ago, the family had just fallen apart. Take a look at this.
My name's Tony Marie, I'm Nancy's stepdaughter and Reg and Frank's stepsister.
I'm Nancy Wald. I have two sons, aged 12 and 13.
Nancy's completely lost control since my dad died of herself, Reg and Frank, and the house. Neither of the boys listened to anything she said. She's not like their mum, she's like their friend.
Boys!
Yeah?
Could you come turn the Xbox off, please? Now. I've got no control over my children.
At the moment, there's no rules in the house at all.
Sometimes I just do what I want.
They don't listen to me. And I feel like there's no respect in the house for me or the house.
I come round and it's like she hasn't done any housework. She thinks it's a waste of time because the boys just trash it.
It's just not working. It's hard to cope when they kick off. I feel beaten by it all.
She's been through a lot worse than two kids playing up. So if she can deal with that, she can deal with her kids being naughty, but it's got to the point where she generally can't deal with it now.
Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Welcome to the show. I'm sorry to hear of your loss.
Okay.
I'm sorry to hear. What was it like when your husband was around?
It was a madhouse. When we was all at home, there's always something going on. And we had our rows, and some of them were bad. But when you took that out of the equation, it was brilliant. I loved it.
And you'd lost a daughter, am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, 14 years ago.
14 years ago. And how did you lose your daughter?
Aerosol abuse.
Okay. And what impact did that have on yourself with your family?
It was hard.
And your state of mind of where you were at?
It was hard. My eldest, Reggie, he was a baby, and I was pregnant with Frankie.
Right.
When it happened, just pregnant with Frankie. So it's like I didn't have time to think about it. So a wall came down, and through grieving, I've just lost my way, and the boys took over. I feel like they're the ones that are in control of me. It's just really hard to find a balance where I can be there for both of them, but be in control as well.
Yeah. Now, your dad obviously married Nancy.
Yeah.
Tell me what it was like in the house. She's like, it was madness. Sometimes it was madness in the house.
Yeah, it was.
What was it? What was it like? Explain madness. Explain mental.
God knows how many kids running around. I mean, it was normal. It was a normal house with kids.
Yeah.
It was mad, but it was...
It was good.
Yeah.
How did your dad die? How did your husband die?
He had an accident in the
Road
van.
traffic accident when he was at work.
And who spoke to the boys?
I did when I got home in the evening. My neighbour looked after them, picked them up from school.
Yeah.
I made sure that my neighbour knew that they weren't to hear it from anybody else.
Mm.
And when I got home, it must have been about 8 o'clock in the evening, I picked my boys up and I told them Frankie wasn't emotional about it at all. Reg was upset. Frankie started having panic attacks shortly after
Right.
his dad died.
And did you talk about it? Did the two of you talk about it?
No, not really, because I'd cry.
Yeah.
That's all I could do.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit of a letdown because I was the one that was supposed to be there for the children. And she was the one that was there for me, being the strength.
So how did you take over then to kind of pick up the pieces? You obviously saw that this was all happening, you know, and that Nancy wanted to strong with the boys. Did you sort of come in and try and make things right and sort of try and fix it?
But I didn't make things right. I just helped out where I could. Like, if she was down, I'd sit there and have a chat with her, whether it was I'd gone round to her house or it was over the phone, or if I come round and... Say if I come round and the house was a mess, I'd help her tidy it, or I'd get the boys to help tidy it, or if the boys weren't listening and Nancy's got herself to the point where she's literally sobbing because she's got no control, right, no, you listen to your mum, you do what you're told.
Yeah.
Just
and how would they respond to you when you said that? You know, when you're showing support, how would they talk to you or respond back?
But I didn't really get spoken to back. I got, do you know what I mean?
Verbal.
Yeah.
Right.
Told where to go, basically.
Right, so just swear at you. And
yeah, they don't see me as an adult, they just see me as their sister.
Yes. Yeah. So what you said went in one ear kind of and out the other, really?
Yeah, told to shut up, go away, get lost.
Yeah, who are you, what are you doing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Can we take a look at some more tape, please?
I lost my husband just over 2 years ago, and our little family unit has fallen apart. I've suffered with depression for quite a few years since I lost my daughter.
Nancy's daughter died from solvent abuse.
My daughter got into the wrong crowd to fit in. She died from inhaling aerosol. I've been on antidepressants on and off all that time, and they helped me cope. I've got no pride in the house because of the way they disrespect it.
The holes in the walls and holes in the doors are through Frankie's temper mainly.
If I'm angry and she asks me to do something, I won't do it.
Why? Why don't you do it?
No.
This is Frankie, where he's had the weightlifting bar and ramming it into the wall. This is where he said he was trying to kill a spider.
I used to get really angry. I used to hit the wall with a hammer.
That's where he put a hammer into the wall above his brother's head.
When Frankie and Mum's have an argument, he storms upstairs and might swear at her. Makes me feel angry when he upsets Mum and punches holes in the walls. When he hits me, I hit him back. It makes me angry.
She just sort of lets it be, lays off of him and lets him get away with blue murder, basically.
What would you say are the toughest things that Nancy needs to hear?
I told you it all already. I mean, you're not their friend, you're their mum. You can't just, do you know what I mean? You can't go on the way you are. Because it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better at all.
I know, that's why I'm here, because I'm scared if I don't change now, where it's going to lead to. I am their mum and I want to feel like their mum again.
Join me after the break when we find out what happened when I met Nancy's two sons, Frankie and Reggie, and see how the whole family has been since the show.
Still to come on Family Matters.
How much is enough? Is it police coming to the house enough?
No.
Or is it your kids having to do time? When is enough?
Not enough is enough now.
Hi and welcome back. Today I'm taking a look back at some of those families that came onto my show, and we're going to see some exclusive footage of what happened when they got home. Nancy was at breaking point since the loss of her husband and felt like she had lost control of her home and her two unruly sons, Frankie and Reggie. Let's see what happened. So earlier on I had a chance to talk to Frankie and Reg and just catch up with them and find out how things lay with them. Take a look at the tape. We're all here because, you know, Mum's been a little bit upset, hasn't she? She's, like, been a little bit under the weather, right? To say the least. What I was hoping you could do was to really help me in just kind of talking about how it's been at home, because I know Mum's, you know, been feeling rather down, and I know, sorry to hear, but I know that your dad passed away, didn't he? Yeah. I'm very sorry to hear that. I know myself what it's like to lose a parent, you know, and it can be really tough. You know, it can be really tough dealing, you know, with that every day. But I want to be able to help your family and talk to you, you know, Mum, about, you know, getting things a little bit better. So can I get some, you know, information from you? I was hoping you could help me, really. So what are the things that you feel you both argue about the most?
Personal space.
Personal space. I like that answer. Because it's a very common answer. You know, people talk about personal space and, you know, respecting each other's privacy. Do you share a room?
No.
You don't. So you've got your own rooms. Yeah. Do you go into each other's rooms?
Yeah.
Do you ask each other whether you can go in each other's rooms?
No.
So there isn't respect for that. So do you just take things from each other's rooms, if you were to be honest?
No. Sometimes.
Sometimes. It's like, nah. It's like, yeah, sometimes. If you could change one thing about Reggie right now that just gets on your nerves and you're like, that's why we fight so much, what would it be?
So agitating.
So, yeah, you agitate him. He says you agitate him all the time. So do you just wind him up?
On purpose.
Where do you differ? Where do you think, no, not really?
Like, no, not really. Like, sometimes, like, he would headbutt me or something.
Right.
And, I won't punch him back or nothing.
Right.
Don't punch back anymore. I'll punch you in the stomach or something, but I won't punch you in the face or headbutt you.
But you punch him in the stomach?
Yeah, like a little jab.
No, you've got to use the punch bag for that, Frankie. You can't use your brother. Are you willing? Are you willing to, like, do what you need to do to make things get better in the house as a family? Are you willing to do that as well?
Yeah.
Does your mum know that?
Don't know.
Does she know that, you know, you would want to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So if I could pass a message on to your mum today as I'm having a conversation with her, what would it be from the pair of you?
So that, like, if, like, bring each other closer, just, like, help one house, but, like, help each other to, like, do it.
Help each other to do it. Well, nice talking to you. Nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
And you.
Take care. Oh, how serene they were looking, sitting there.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel a little bit resentful towards your brothers when you look at them?
No, the only thing that bothers me is seeing them all, do you know what I mean, living the way they are. They're like, it's like they all share a house. It's not like they're family. It's not like they're mother and sons. They just live in the same house.
Something's got to give. Just can't carry on.
Oh, trust me, love, you're already giving every day.
No, not anymore.
They're walking over you, are they not?
Yeah.
Why do they have control? Why do you feel like you have no control in your own home?
Because I allowed it to happen.
What are you allowing?
When their dad died, I was not really there mentally anyway. But you know what I mean, they must be hurting, so you let them get away with stuff. You know what I mean? Let them do things that make them happy, and it just never stopped. And when I have tried to say no or put my foot down, and that they just go on, not so much Reg, but Frankie goes on. And then my breaking point is pretty low at the moment.
Did you feel like you had control when your husband was around? When did you feel like you lost control?
Before he died, but that's for reasons I don't really want to.
Yeah, okay.
We went through a really bad patch and weren't together when he died.
Right.
So yeah, back there, that's where it started. So when they moved in 6 weeks, he died.
Right. So just that's interesting for me to hear because it allows me to see you're emotional. We're not going to go into detail, but you wasn't actually together.
When he died, no.
And he'd moved out.
Yeah.
And then 6 weeks after that, the tragedy happened.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So and then when he died, I just switched off.
Let's take a look at the tape.
Makes you feel sad. It's not nice watching your family just fall apart.
I want to have a life, and my kids to have a life, and for us to do things together and enjoy doing them together and make new memories because they deserve it, and so do I.
If nothing changes, then it's just going to get worse. The boys being as young as they are and out of control as they are, I couldn't imagine when they're 16, 17, 18 and being even more out of control. I couldn't imagine what would happen. I couldn't imagine Nancy alive.
I just feel so worn out and tired now, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. I want to show my boys it's not okay to sit about on your backside doing nothing, that you have to work for what thing that you want. At the moment, I'm not teaching them any of that. Now I can't find my way back.
I think you hit the nail right on the head there in that tape, saying that no good sitting back and just sitting down and doing nothing. It's time to get up from the sofa and it's time to make decisions. And I think those decisions are only going to be made when you're ready to forgive yourself for the situation that you were in with your husband, because there's no two ways about it. You're still living with the guilt of decisions that were made and the 6 week shock of when he passed away. It's frustrating for your daughter to be on the outside and see what you need to do and not know how to give you that strength and not know how to, but to be repetitive, you know, to be your cheerleader, as in to be repetitive, to say, come on, get it, I'm here, I'm supporting you, hoping one day the penny drops and you say, it's time for me to make some changes. It's time for me to recognise that I will live with the memories that were good. I will live with the memories that were good. I will respect what it was, and I will give these boys what they need so that no dysfunctional behaviour patterns are continued in the home. Does that make sense to you?
That's what I want.
Okay. Your husband obviously was a disciplinarian, okay? He obviously was a very...
Old school.
Oh, is that the word we're using nowadays?
Yeah,
old school.
Yeah.
Grumpy. Okay. He could be, I feel, from looking at your boys, and you don't really need to meet parents sometimes when you sit with a couple of lads who are basically telling you a story, okay? I look at Reggie and I see the vulnerable side of your husband, and I see the soft side of your husband, and I look at Frankie and I see the boisterous side of him, the headstrong side of him. That's what I see when I look at those two boys. And I see you very much like Reggie, but I reckon you've got a temper like Frankie as well. I see it. That's passive.
Definitely.
It's passive-aggressive behaviour. So when you have, you know, as lovely as your dad and your husband could be, but when you're in a home where you have a man who at times can be intimidating and overbearing,
okay, and can put his mark down where you're all sitting there thinking, give us a break. Give us a break. Like, you're being really unrealistic and unfair now. What happens is that behaviour and that temperament undermines any authority that you have. And as a mother, loving your children, you're going to want to protect them. So you're going to want to pacify the behaviour that you feel is really extreme and unrealistic. So what happens is you pander and you pacify and you make sure they're all right because they're your baby boys and you don't want emotionally for them to feel broke. You don't want their spirit broke.
No.
And so what happens is that whilst you've got a partner that's really unrealistic, has expectations that you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're always going to do that. You're always going to try and find the balance because you're going to feel sorry for the kids and what they have to listen to at times. Even when your partner and your dad's headstrong and he thinks he's right. Am I making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So my point being is that not to take away the fact that you are going through grieving still. Okay, you are going through the process and the stages of grieving. And you are in that place of feeling depressed. And I know you know that, and you want to come out of that place. And that final stage for you will be accepting what has happened and looking forward to the future, which means that your future has to be written that you're looking forward to the relationship that you will have with your kids. You can't spend forever like this procrastinating.
No.
Okay? No one wants to take away how you're emotionally feeling and your grieving process because each and every one to their own, Nancy, each and every one to their own. But there's got to be a point when there's jeopardy in the behaviour that we're seeing, that something clicks up here and you go, I need to get from the place of procrastinating to making change because change happens in a second. In a second. Just a lot of us spend 2 years, 3 years procrastinating. Got to change, got to do this, got to do that.
I've had enough of that being in that.
How much? How much is enough? Is this enough?
Yeah.
Or is it police coming to the house
No.
enough?
No.
When is enough?
No, enough is enough now. Right now.
What happens today, Tony?
It's got to change. Can't keep... Do you know what I mean? You're going to end up with old Bill at your door. They carry on the way they're going. You're pushing everyone away that's trying to help.
You can get out there. The boys said very clearly, they just want the connection again.
Yeah.
You know, they want to know that they can go, you know, as a family to the cinema one night. You can all be in and you cook a nice meal and you can watch your favourite show and do what you want to do. You know, they want that. You know, they want some of that time, but they do need you to, you know, be that firm voice for them, that reasoning, because you are shaping their behaviour. And you're also setting an example that they need to see as young boys, that they will grow up as young men to respect women in their life. You know, they need to know that, you know. The boys are in that room that you see on the tape, in the children's room. And they are there for you to clean the slate. They are not expecting you to come in by any means. But if you're really ready, then the room is over there and I will walk you over there to go and have a word with the boys and let them know what's going to happen and change from today.
Yeah.
But that's up to you.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'll follow you. Follow you. I'll follow you.
Hello. You all right?
Yes.
Right. Today is the start of me being about being your mum and not your mate, and laying down rules and boundaries, which I'm going to stand fast and make sure that we go by what I say. I'm still going to be your mum, and I love you to bits, but I'm going to be the sergeant major behind it and make sure that we work together as a family. make new memories, happy memories. And you two can turn out to be the best young men that you can, and I can know that I've done my best by you. Okay? But really, today is D-Day.
Why? Why should they believe you, right? Why would you believe your mum today? Why?
Because I feel it in here. And I know that I've got to step up to the mark.
Why you got to do that for your boys that you love?
For them to look up to me, be able to respect me and other women in their life as they get older. That women aren't a pushover. We're mighty strong. You're lovely boys, and you deserve better than what I've been giving you for the past 2 years. And I'm now going to step up and be that mum that you need, okay? Believe me. Right? Right?
They need that. They need it. They need that.
Thank you so much.
You need it as a family. You're a lovely family.
Okay? Yeah. Hug. Joe advised me to let go of the past, to realise the boys are still grieving in their own way, to have more pride for the home and get the boys to respect where they live as well, and to be more active with the boys and make a better home life. Do you feel better for exercising and spending some time together?
Yeah.
Think it's working?
Yeah.
Makes you feel better, doesn't it?
And I'm going to help you decorate. I'm going to help you have a brighter future, brighter, happier, more positive future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Frankie still likes doing his boxing, he's got his punch bag, and that's how he channels some of his energy and his aggression. I try to sit down now with the boys at least once a day, and we have a cup of tea or something together and just spending time together like that. But I'm looking forward to, in the future, to being able to take my children out.
After the break, emotions run high when another family opens up to each other about their problems.
Still to come on Family Matters.
I'm putting in here. He complained.
No, you're not. Actually, you're not putting in. That's not what you're going to do. We're actually going to act like mature people here. You're a mother. You're not going to do that.
And thank you for joining me today, because my next guest, Sarah, contacted the show to get help because she said her family was suffering because of the behaviour of her teenage daughter, Chloe. Let's take a look back.
I'm Sarah from Washington. My children are Carl, he's 18, now Chloe's 15, TJ 11, Casey 9, Josh 8, and Denny 6. And I've got a grandson, Leon, 6 months old. They don't realise what I do for them.
I can help you.
Nom, 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 nom. I'm the mother, the father, the nana, the granddad, the auntie and the uncle, the best friend and the brother and sister as well. I've got 5 children of my own, and Leon's my grandson. He feels like it's I've turned out after 6 kids.
I'm Bert, I'm Sarah's partner. I don't think Chloe respects her mum at all.
You're not going up nice? I am. No, you're not.
She's just spoiled, you know what I mean?
Oh, now pack it in.
She's got his prison room, you want home.
I want some money. End off.
Like Sarah loves her and tries to do everything she can for her, but Chloe just spits it back in her face.
Because you take me in.
It's hard for us to watch.
I want some money.
You're not getting any money, Chloe.
I want money, end off.
I've never heard anybody speak to mum the way Chloe speaks to her mum.
I need some money.
It's got to be nipped in the bud now.
Welcome, Sarah. Hard tape to watch,
Yep.
to say the least. What's just upset you?
Seeing the way she goes on with the kids.
Can you take me back to life when she was a toddler?
Chloe only lived with me till she was 3-year-old.
She lived with you
till she was
till she was 3?
I went to custody for a bit for driving offences.
Right. Where did
5
she live?
weeks. When I went to prison, she went to live with me mum.
And how long was you in prison for?
4 or 5 weeks.
Right, okay. So she lived at your mum's. So how did you kind of just really integrate her back into the family with the other siblings? Like, what measures did you take going from grandma's house right the way through to...
Chloe thought it was all about her. Chloe thought it was all about her.
Right.
But it was about after her, and I said, you've got 4 brothers and sisters younger than you. Would need that bit more of attention. She was spoilt.
So what was it like for you as a mother, knowing that you had your own firstborn, you know, your own child at your mum's and being raised by your mother, to then find out that your teenage daughter was pregnant?
I was upset.
And was you living on your own then?
Yeah.
Did you have a partner?
I was living on my own.
Okay, and now?
I'm in a relationship with
You're
Robert.
in a relationship now? Yeah. Okay, so let's meet Bert and Chloe and watch some tape.
I think Chloe could be a bit jealous of Bert because she says like how good we get on and the other kids like him, do you know what I mean?
Bertie's the best.
Bertie's the best.
Bertie's the best. Makes us feel so happy.
My thought on Bert is I can't stand him, I didn't like him, and I just want my mum back.
Bruce, your boyfriend comes first.
Why not? How does he come first?
Because you said on Monday, oh, I promise, on Wednesday you can sleep with us.
You're nearly 16, Chloe, you've got your own bedroom.
You used to let us all the time before you met Bertie.
I can get along with her when she's being nice, but sometimes she's just nasty.
But she wants it for me all for herself. I've got a life and all, you know.
Boyfriend, not your life.
We used to go out every day, like play games and that, and now she just doesn't. Does a lot more with Bert.
When do me and Bert spend time together?
All the time, and you can't say you don't. All the time.
We're in the same, I'm under the same roof.
All the time.
Chloe's the problem. If I can sort Chloe out, then you're the ones that have respect, because if she gives me respect, then I'm going to say that, aren't I? And if you're going to settle down, like, I'm only waiting if you're settling down, Denny.
Make a promise again.
Excuse me? That's a bit of Chloe coming out of there, isn't it?
Welcome. Nice to see you. Welcome, Chloe. I've asked you to come here today and to join in discussion, certainly with your mother, because as a mother to your own child, I wanted to treat you with that respect and maturity. So I'm hoping that we can all gather together our thoughts and continue to liaison and find out really what's going on and get to the bottom of it. What has you so angry? Because quite clearly from watching the tape, there are a lot of anger issues. You know, you get very frustrated quickly. I saw there that, you know, you wasn't too pleased with the fact that you wasn't going to be in the bed and sleeping. You know, what really makes you tick and makes you lose your anger so quickly?
She's never spent time with us now.
Who's she?
Me mum. In the towers with Bertie 24/7 now. She doesn't show no loving or nothing now.
So what do you feel you're lacking then from your mother?
No love.
And define that. What do you mean by no love? What is it that you're needing from her?
Support, help, play more games with us. Before she did meet Bert, she had another partner and he was lovely. He took us everywhere, treated us like a dad. Bertie, no.
So,
and I got accused of fancying Bertie off my own mother. I got accused of fancying him.
Right, okay.
And that's what gets us even more paid off.
Was that true?
No,
did you actually ever say that?
Yes, it was.
Are you jealous?
No, you said you must fancy him.
I didn't accuse her.
Yeah, you did.
Know what I mean? I just
Yes,
said
you
that 'cause
did.
I wanted to know the reasons
No,
why she had so much hate for him. The way she was going on every time.
So because she showed you hatred towards your partner, you asked her whether she fancied him? Or was she jealous of the relationship?
To stop us from being together, yes, that's what I did, yes.
So you thought that was a possibility?
I didn't accuse her, I said the possibility, yes.
Right. What would make you think that?
Well, because what else would you think, really? I tried everything else.
I don't know, that's why I'm asking you.
Bert's been really nice with Chloe, he's accepted Chloe. He treats the Ben as his grandson, because he's been there since day one.
I'm butting in here. He complains.
No, you're not. Actually not butting in. That's not what you're going to do. We're actually going to act like mature people here. You're a mother. We're not going to do that. Okay? You will get your turn. You definitely will get your turn to say what you feel, but I want this to be composed, because this is what we haven't learnt in the house, okay? And this is what needs to be learnt. So we're going to do that, okay? We're going to listen, because nobody listens to each other. Everybody's really eager to get out what they want to say, and no one's really listening, all right? And this is what we need to change.
We saw that very clearly on the tape. So let's just rewind here, okay? I'd like you to finish your sentence because then I would like to go back and talk to you about not feeling loved, okay? Can you continue, please?
I said to Chloe I says, why don't you like Bert, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And she gives like numerous occasions. I said, why, what was it then? I says, are you jealous of him? Like, do you fancy him or something?
Yeah.
But I didn't accuse her of fancying him.
Do you think that was a pretty sensational, unrealistic statement to make?
It probably was, but at the time it wasn't, no.
Why?
Because there was that much going on in the house every single day. You haven't a clue. Honestly, it's 24 hours a day. She was coming to the bedroom when we were going to bed. She was hammering the doors with hammers and the door with the nails, so I had to get up. So we weren't in the same bedroom together. So what else? What was I supposed to think?
How did that make you feel?
Horrible. Like I'm coming between them or something. I didn't want to. Sometimes I feel like I'm just in the way and I'm a problem when I've done nothing to be a problem.
Do you feel that your mum provides support for you with your young one?
In the past month, not as much as she used to. Now, because like, my mum has, Leon in the room, Bertie's been complaining. Like yesterday in the hotel, he said a slight comment because I retaliate back. My mum
Can I understand why? I'm a bit confused as to why the baby is not in your room. Why is
Because
that?
my mum came with a decision. I'll have him like during the day and that, and she would have him on a night until he's like a couple of months old because we lost a sister.
And does that happen? Sarah, is that happening? Like, does Chloe have her child during the day?
No.
And then you look after night?
No.
That doesn't happen?
No.
Why doesn't Chloe look after her own baby during the day?
Because she's got school.
And what about when she gets home?
Don't know.
No, I don't know. It's not good enough.
I know that.
I mean, it's not a good enough answer. I'd really like to get to the bottom of the answer. Why doesn't Chloe look after her own child when she comes home from school? Why isn't she being taught how to nurture and look after her own
She
child?
doesn't know how to do it.
Why haven't you said, Chloe, this is your child.
I
want you to be able to do that.
I have said her on numerous occasions, but she's a child herself, and I do help her. I have helped her too much, actually. But when I do pick up the baby, she passes them on to somebody else.
No, I don't.
So would you say that's the case?
No.
Do you feel like your mum looks after your little one more and you know, feels that because, you know, you're young yourself, you're a teenager yourself, that it would be better if it would be in her capable hands because she's had children and had that experience?
I always offer to have him, and she goes, no. And I tell her to bring his cot down. No, I'm not bringing his cot down. No. Argue, and it starts the argument.
So what is it that you actually want from your mum?
She'll love her and care and spend more time with us.
Do you take care of the little one?
I wake up during the night and feed him, stuff like that. Like, I won't just leave him, you know what I mean? I've got him, I change his nappies and stuff like that. I do all sorts for him. Like, anything I can, anything I need to do, I'll do.
I'm hearing, like, Bert say that, your mum, and I just feel that there's this kind of defence from you. Like, why is everybody saying they do everything? It's like I don't do anything with my own baby. Do you feel like everyone's saying, oh, I do this, and you're like, well, what do you do?
Probably I do nothing, so we'll just leave it at that.
You do, though, Chloe. If you stop the arguments during the day, we would spend more time together.
No,
You're embarrassed.
you need to stop spending more time with your boyfriend.
Why?
I even offered to babysit once a month so her and Betty could go out.
Listen.
I offered to babysit once a month so they could go out, have a meal or anything.
Yes.
Nothing's been changed.
After the break, we get to see what happened when the family returned home. Did they follow my advice?
Still to come on Family Matters.
But the reality is that you've got to recognise that the temper tantrums and the behaviour that spirals out of control, where you're smashing a whole home, that cannot continue. And that is no life to give that little one.
Welcome back. Before the break, we met the Gibson family, who were at breaking point because of their teenage daughter, Chloe. Let's take a look back.
Chloe's threatened us that when she's 16, she's moving out. And I said that I wouldn't stop her, I would support her. But Leon wasn't going until she started spending more time. Then I can see that Chloe can look after Leon, like on every day basis.
Right, Mum, I'm going.
Right, text us when you get there.
Right, I will.
The worst case is if Chloe doesn't stop behaving the way she is either. I'm going to move out or she's going to do something wrong and Sarah's going to have to phone the police on her because it's getting the point where, it's getting the breaking point now. Like it's getting too much.
My ideal thing of Chloe would be like for Chloe to change to be a mum with Leon more, even just to do things more, help around the house. I'm not even bothered about helping around the house, just to have respect. It's the biggest thing like that she needs. I think if she can respect me, then I think she'll know where she's going wrong. I mean, she doesn't think of Leon either when she's shouting and screaming.
Give me the gun! Get up!
The baby's in the same room, do you know what I mean? He feels that. Chloe could definitely not cope with Leon without my help 7 days a week.
I just keep staring at the little boy.
It's gorgeous.
The reality is that at the end of the day, you're all shifting. There's a big transition with respects to, the newborn coming along. I think certainly you've got to understand that, as a young teenager, okay, you now know it's not glamorous.
No.
Right? It's not glamorous looking after a newborn. It's very, very demanding. Okay, and I'm sure it's testing you in more ways than one with respects to meeting those needs and demands and trying to understand that as well. But what I'd really love to be able to see here is for you to be able to let go of those reins as well and to encourage Chloe to be the mother that really she didn't have.
I want you to stop going on the way you are. The name calling Chloe's got to stop. What do I do for you? Every day in that house. I'm with you every day. I don't go out like you say I do. And you know I don't. You know I don't. I don't, Chloe, don't lie.
I've got all the proof.
Chloe, you haven't. I used to go out on a Tuesday night and that's it, right? That's all I want you to stop doing and spend more time with Leon. And then we can all go out together as a family. But when you're shouting and screaming and swearing at us and kicking and flinging things and smashing my house up, do you really think I'm going to take you anywhere?
So where were you on Tuesday when I had to take your kids to school and that because no one helped us? Hint, hint, you.
Oh,
Chloe. I had to stop off my mother and baby unit.
Chloe, you didn't. You chose
So
to do that. No, you didn't, Chloe.
Who else would have got your kids up, got them ready enough for
Bert's
school?
my partner. Bert was there.
He done nothing except from text you. That's what happens. You're on your phone constantly texting each other. You can be a mile away from each other and you're texting each other. That's what does me head in.
Chloe, no, we're not.
You don't sit down at the table like you used to and talk to us. You're effing and blinding at us.
Chloe, I'm never off the table. I sit at the table.
That's why you need to ask the other kids.
And the other kids have told them. It's got to stop.
Let's look at the tape here and look at that acknowledgement. When little Leon sees his mummy, he's like, look. There's no reason why the three of you can't come together and actually really be dynamic in the way that you run your household. I know that you have the capacity in you. I know inside you, okay, that you can learn from your mum to become more confident. And I know at the same time, hormonally and emotionally, you're going through a big transition. Nobody's taking that away from you, But the reality is that you've got to recognise that the temper tantrums and the behaviour that spirals out of control, where you're smashing a whole home, that cannot continue. And that is no life to give that little one. No. It's no life. It's no life. You have to take responsibility with the respects of you needing that break. I want a fresh routine. When can that happen?
When we get back?
Tonight.
When you get back tonight, I'd like to see that too, okay, when that's been done. All right? The third one, the relationship. It's not going to change.
I don't want them to change. I just don't want him to stop having his slide digs in.
The relationship's not going to change because the relationship is your mum's. Okay, the relationship is your mum's. But be strong enough to tell Sarah when things are too much, okay? Be strong enough to do that. Don't use the baby as ammunition against Chloe because you're cross with the way she's treating her mum, okay? You bring an innocent child into the picture, and that's why she gets her back up. One night a week, we are going to respect that when the kids are down, okay, baby asleep, because you're going to learn how to do that, all right? That you have your evening, okay? You need to build the relationship between, obviously, yourselves. Okay, we have routine that needs to be done. We have a baby sleeping with his mother in his room, and we have Tuesday nights, okay? Are we clear on that?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
After seeing Joe, Chloe's not been as rude and aggressive towards me since the show.
We put a new voter on the fridge, what Joe Frost said, and we all stuck to it. Like, I helped with Leon more. We helped my mum with the housework and things, and we all stuck to it.
I've got a bit more respect from Chloe. She now spends more time with Leon. She has a cut in her room. And we spend more time together.
And since we've been down to see Joe Frost, it's totally changed. So I feel a lot happier with Leon being in my room. It's my son at the end of the day. Like, he's a lot happier and I'm a lot happier that he's in my room, because I know, like, I can get up on a night and make his bottles and that no one else has to.
There's less arguments. There's more understanding each other as well.
It's really exciting to know that both families we've revisited are doing so well, and I just hope it continues for them in their future. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.